So, we are going to Snow Lake.
I am so excited. I can almost not think of anything else. It's a pilgrimage I've been dreaming of doing since 1988.
Since 1988.
And
who told you about Snow Lake?
I've known about Snow Lake since this time, but they said, "Oh, this is hallowed ground. Here, only the chosen go."
Yeah.
So maybe, as a metaphor, I've had to invest in life. I've had to succeed and often fail. And now I'm ready. My feather is beginning to fly.
Yeah.
And I've been invited. Also, I have somebody to hold my hand.
And
I think this is my son on one side, but a man called Juma. He's a Hunza on the other side. Juma. I met him. He's a mountain guide. 2 years ago. When I was reconnecting with my son, there were problems at the beginning because you're in the mountains. There's no telephone, father, son.
Nothing.
And Juma came in and he held us both very tightly and he brought us back together. So Juma is an adopted uncle to...
अच्छा कहते हैं कि हुंजा के एक जुमा खान है या जुमा है, एक तरफ मेरा बेटा होगा, एक तरफ जुमा होगा, और जुमा की ये खासियत बयान करते हैं कि ये एक दफा मेरे और मेरे बेटे के दरमियान कुछ इख्तलाफात पैदा हो, तो जुमा ने हम दोनों को अपनी आगोश में लिया और उसकी प्रेजेंस ऐसी थी, उसकी मोहब्बत ऐसी थी कि हम वो इख्तलाफ भूल गए. तो स्नो लेक पर इनका बेटा भी जा रहा है और उसके साथ जुमा भी जा रहा है और जाहिर है कि पोर्टर्स भी होंगे. So you are going to hire.
So Juma said, I can take you on this journey, and he will hold our hands. He has organized a group of porters. It is impossible to do it on our own, as you know. I will be also taking my 2 sons-in-law and their friends. They're all in their 20s, and we are going on a pilgrimage together.
How many in total?
There will be 10.
10.
And we are coming for a month to Pakistan.
And where do you start the...
Well, we will fly to Skardu.
Okay.
Then we drive to Ashkole.
No, I know the rest of the...
And then, I'm sure many of you know, and then we will be walking. I think the walking, if we take it easy, because it is not about a race or about height or distance, we will spend about 20 days. And then we end up in Karimabad.
Ashkole is... no, it won't be in Karimabad. It will be a village called Hesper.
Yeah, but the end of the journey, we drive to Karimabad.
But the natural track is from Ashkole.
Yeah.
Not from the other side. Because the Hesper law, that is slightly different for a person like me to climb from the other side. There are a lot of snow
crevasses.
Crevices. But another thing, I wish you best of luck. Snow Lake is a very strange phenomenon. The height, the continuous height on Biafo, walking on it, and then at times you become abstract because lack of the oxygen. I remember when I was on top of the Hesper, I thought my wife has come and she is standing there on the Snow Lake with our old Suzuki car, and she's looking at me and she said, "What are you doing here? Let's go home." I mean, I saw it because maybe hallucination or something. And again, Snow Lake, if there are people who went there and it was full of crevices, they couldn't cross it, or maybe 1 or 2 fell down. And when we went there, it was totally plain. So Snow Lake is not definite. It depends upon its mood.
But maybe that's a metaphor for life. And what you and I know, nothing is definite. The young men I'm taking with me, I want to teach them this. I want to teach them the humility of indefinites, but the celebration of now, of being here and now, and the gratitude. And I don't believe they understand this or can feel this with the technological world they live in.
इनके कह रहे ये रहे हैं कि मतलब ये राकापोशी के बेस कैंप पे भी गए हैं, कंकोडिया भी गए हैं, और भी इन्होंने ट्रैक्स किए हैं. स्नो लेक जिस तरह कि इन्होंने कहा है कि ये मेरे लिए पिलग्रिमेज है, एक ज़ियारत है, और मैं अपने बच्चों को इसलिए लेके जा रहा हूँ कि जो टेक्निकल एस्पेक्ट है इस दुनिया की कि टेक्नोलॉजी इतनी ज्यादा आगे चली गई है कि लोग उसमें इन्वॉल्व होके अपनी जो ह्यूमैनिटी भी और ह्यूमिलिटी भी वो फरामोश कर बैठे हैं। तो मैं अपने बच्चों को लेकर वहाँ इसलिए जा रहा हूँ ताकि वो बच्चे जो हैं वो जान जाए कि देयर इज एन अदर वर्ल्ड which is more beautiful, more natural, where there are no telephones, no connection, and आप अपना आप महसूस कर सकते हैं, आप अंदर अपने सब्र कर सकते हैं, एक किस्म का sort of a mystical journey.
But that's what it's all about. So that's the importance. What advice would you give me for this journey, having experienced it yourself?
Well,
other than speaking to my wife and her Suzuki.
Yeah, well, that was horrifying.
You don't want to see my wife and a Suzuki. Ex-wife.
Yeah, well,
could also be horrifying.
I escaped from her and she was there on Snow Lake also.
I escaped from mine in real life.
Yeah, well, I mean, there are few spots which are life-threatening. Actually, as soon as you step into the mountains, the danger of death is there. A stone can fall, or the road can cave in, and you can fall in a crevice, and so on and so forth. That is all there. But what you get in return is amazing, because Snow Lake Track is considered to be one of the 3 or 4 topmost tracks in the world.
I would argue that it's probably
the. Well, I didn't want to say it. I thought maybe you think that I'm too patriotic, but I also.
I'm an adopted patriot, so yeah. I'm there with you.
Yes, and another phenomena which happened to me, maybe it will happen to you. I mean, it happens to special people. It happens to only children at heart who have wonder and who observe. We started crossing the Snow Lake early. 3 o'clock, as you know, before the snow melts and the crevices appear. And I felt it a total. Snow Lake is so quiet.
I can't wait for this.
I mean, as you were talking, the feather, even if a feather is flying there, you can hear the feather. I mean, it's so quiet. So in that desolate quietness, I felt some sort of sound near my ears, and I wondered what it was. And then I realized that there are butterflies. Remember, Snow Lake is more than 12 or 13,000 height and temperature below zero, and butterflies don't survive that sort of cold. But there were butterflies. And I wondered where they have come from. And most probably they were far off rocks. Maybe they lived there. I don't know. I don't know. I cannot solve this enigma, how they survive in that cold. But I will say beautiful thing from myself, the butterfly won't like it. And they came from somewhere. And as soon as they entered the Snow Lake area, due to the very cold and freezing temperature, they froze and they fell. And when they fell, within seconds, on top of them, a layer of ice is formed because of the temperature. And you can see them as framed in ice.
Dark, but also beautiful.
And I mean, I saw at least 3 or 4. And then I brought one of them with me. It was in that form. But I want you to watch out for that phenomena if possible.
Okay.
It may happen.
This is. I'm very happy we're here. I'm very happy. I'm loving this conversation. But most importantly, I'm happy I asked you for advice. This is something I've never experienced, and this will make the journey worth it to witness such natural beauty. Ironic.
I mean, it seems like a fantasy, but it did happen to me. I wrote a whole book about Snow Lake. It is called Snow Lake, and very many people track that area because of that book.